Hi there, I'm Mike, and what I have for you today is an archive Black Series video. It's been a while since I've done one of these because there hasn't really been an archive wave in a while that I've felt the need to get. For me, being a completionist since 2013 when the line came out, I haven't missed any figures that would show up in the archive for me. But from time to time, they release figures with updates, better faces, little tweaks, things like that. And of the 4 figures in this wave, these 3 had changes. So I decided to just make one video about them instead of 3 individual videos because it's just less work, and I'm all about less work. Just so you know, the other figure in this wave is Grand Moff Tarkin, and of course his partner Dr. Ball. I have actually done a video on Grand Moff Tarkin way back when he came out in 2018. So if you want to go watch that, you can. I didn't pick up the archive version because, like I said, there is no difference. Tarkin came out after the switch to digital face printing. So it's kind of like, and I'm stealing a bit from a friend here, Justin, out of the basement. He said it, I heard it from him. I'm stealing the joke. Anyways, it's a bit like the whole BC, BCE, or AD, BC, whatever kind of thing. Whichever one you like, it's like that, where the figures that came out before digital face printing, and then there's figures that came out after digital face printing. These 3 are before digital face printing, and Tarkin is after. I don't really know why they decided to release Tarkin, other than, you know, I guess 2018 was, oh good lord, it was almost 5 years ago. All right, and there's probably been quite a few new collectors since then, but I feel like there are much older figures that they should have released first. Anyways, maybe, I mean, Andor's not done.Maybe he's gonna be an Andor. Maybe could that be a reason why they would want to release him in there? I don't know. I don't know. I have no idea. Anyways, let's take a look. I've been talking for a while here, and I haven't even talked about these figures here. So let's take a look. I have the originals here, and then I have obviously the new archive releases. We're gonna start. Let's start with Chewbacca. Let's kind of go from like least changed to most changed here. So let's get Han out of the way, and let's start with Chewbacca. Chewbacca was one that I almost didn't get him because, I mean, technically this does have digital face printing on it, which means the face is digitally printed instead of painted like this one. And I don't know if on a Wookiee it's that big of a deal, but for me, the reason I wanted to do it is because every other figure on the early bird, you know, the A New Hope 40th anniversary Darth Vader, I've replaced every other figure on that little display, and I'm probably showing it on camera here, with digital face printing versions, and I kind of just wanted to do it just to do it. I got this on sale on Target for like $17. It was on sale way back in like June or July. They had like they were competing with Amazon Day, so I got this, and I got the Han Solo not super cheap, but like $7 cheaper than normal. I also decided that, you know, there's a couple different places in my display collection I could have another Chewbacca, but I also decided that I wanted another bowcaster because I have the Amazon one here, and he comes with this, and that's appropriate for the movie, but I like this Empire Strikes Back Chewie, and I kind of wish he had a bowcaster. And now I can give him this Chewie's old bowcaster, and we can maybe get rid of this. I know this is more movie accurate, but to me, Chewie equals bowcaster, and I prefer that. Just for fun, I have all my other Chewies here. This one is the TFA one, and these are basically the exact same with some color differences. You can see we've got some darker here, some lighter here, and he has a completely different head. He's got an open mouth here, closed mouth here. He also has a different bandolier than this one has. Other than that, though, they are the same figure. Now, this one, the Empire Strikes Back one, is actually a little bit different. He's based on the Solo Chewie body, and they're not that different, but they are different. He's actually a little bit shorter, not by much, but he is shorter. And you can also tell there's a couple different differences here. Like we have this little cutout here, and on this side, it's more of just like a straight thing, and that's to cover up, I think, this little part. So there's a little bit of a height difference, and there's some other differences here and there. But these two Chewies are on the same mold, body, whatever you want to call it, and these two Chewies are on the same. And they actually did. This is the TFA one. No, sorry, this is actually the one that came out in the Smuggler Disney package. It's the same Chewie as a TFA one, but he has, again, the digital face printing. And at the time, that was the only way to get the not Ponda Baba, well, Hondo Onaka, and so I got an extra Chewie and an extra Ray to go with that. Anyways, this has nothing to do with that. I've rambled on for quite some time. Let's take a look here at this. So mine came a little damaged here. You can see one weird thing here is on the back. This is 2015. This is actually this Chewbacca, not this Chewbacca. They are different. Like I said, this one came out originally. It was originally slated to come out at the very end of the Orange Line box, the Phase 1, and they pushed it back to Phase 2, and he came out in the first wave of Phase 2 in 2014, not 2015. So just some fun facts, I guess. But let's not beat around the bush too much. I do want to point out he's big. He's not deluxe priced, but he definitely feels like deluxe size. I'm not complaining that Hasbro didn't charge deluxe prices for it. I'm just pointing out the fact that I'm kind of surprised Hasbro didn't. Like I'm it's a blessing, I guess. Like hey, Hasbro definitely could have charged deluxe based on the size alone, but they certainly didn't. Anyways, let's get this out here. I'm just gonna say this, just based on the packaging and what I've kind of looked at, there's not a lot of differences here. I don't expect that I'll be like, oh man, this is so much better. This really is more of a formality for me to have picked up than an actual update, which is why I'm doing it first. But I also, I guess I just kind of wanted to give a Chewbacca walkthrough. Maybe you don't know the differences between all the Chewbaccas and you were curious about it. So we have, I think it was light here. Yeah, honestly, he looks a little darker up here at top than he does. But outside of that, if you had told me like this is the digital face printing or this is the digital, I couldn't really tell. Maybe on the eyes, but it's really hard to see that because they're so recessed and the shadows are really in there. Let me try zooming in here, see if I can. Yeah, I can kind of tell on the eyes that this one is a little bit better, but again, it's not noticeable. If you just have these on the shelf, there's no way anyone would be like, oh wow, that face looks so much better. Another thing is it's really hard to get Chewie's bowcaster in his hands. I don't know what they were thinking with this. Also, this does come off, little sight does come off, and it's good and bad at the same time. It's good because it's not going to break, but it's bad because it does tend to come off an awful lot. So this is keyed to kind of fit in one way. It is all, again, it's nice that they made it so you don't have to worry about that. I'm not going to get it in his hand. It's too much of a hassle. We're going to situate his bandolier a little bit better. That's another problem, is the bandolier tends to kind of want to fall down. So we got Chewbacca. I'll figure out what to do with two Chewbaccas. That's two Chewbacca. Anyways, whitest kids you know. That's good. That's gonna it's gonna be in my head. Anyways, let's move on to Han Solo. Now Han Solo here had a little bit of a controversy. So I was at Star Wars Celebration. I was actually at the stage when they announced it, and I got to take a look at these in person before they put them in the little thing. Like Eric let me kind of take a picture of them. He wouldn't let me hold them or anything. But apparently, they didn't just do digital face printing with this. They gave him a whole new head. And then when he first started coming out, people were questioning that. Like, is it really a new head? Because the heads do look very similar. But then Eric, I think it was on Luke This Monsters channel, and he did confirm he's got a new head. Anyways, we have the archive box here on the back. We've got the 2015 Han Solo. Came out after Chewbacca did. Chewbacca came out in the first wave. Han Solo came out, I think in like the second or third or fourth wave. It was a while. Anyways, there's also a running change in him. You can see mine was one of the first ones, and his hair is pretty dark. They did do a running change in the line to lighten up his hair to make it match, the movie a little bit better. And I didn't get that because I didn't really care enough. I did like The Force Awakens. I do actually like the sequels. I'm not a sequel hater by any means, but I don't know. I just never really liked the character enough to be like, oh man, I really want to change that because his hair is slightly different. Anyways. Let's but I guess here we are, however many 7 years later, almost 8 years later, and I'm buying it again just because it has basically an entirely new head. And again, it was confirmed. We're just gonna go ahead and pop that into the sheath there, the holster. It's not a sheath, it's a holster. I mean, I guess we just got to go in. Now, I will say one of the things about this original one, it was actually already pretty good. Of all of the sculpts of the original line, the Han Solo was the best. It was actually pretty good, and the paint on it was pretty good. But this new one, I do think the new one is better. It's got a lot of more like paint in the recesses to bring out all the little curves, whereas his looks a little bit more like flat, I guess. One of the things that made me question if it was a new sculpt or not was, now when they do faces, the hair and the head are two different, they're two different pieces. But no, I can definitely see it. I can definitely see that the sculpt, well, they basically made the same face, the same grin, or the same smirk, all that the same. They did it better. I also like, you can even see the scar on Harrison Ford's chin a lot better on this one too. So yeah, I will say, I think they did a good job on it. The rest of it it's fine. It's a fine figure. It's a little dated now in terms of articulation, meaning the elbows. Well, they're not bad. It's a 90-degree angle. I wish it were better. I wish the arms had, butterfly joints on it. His legs always came off as a little weird, like the sculpt on the pants. They just look really loose, and I know that's kind of how he looked in the movie because he's 70 or 80 or whatever years old, and that's just kind of how clothes look on old people. But it always kind of looked a little dumpy to me that Han Solo's got these like skinny, baggy old people pants and legs on. But it's fine. I really did like him in the movie. I'm glad that he was in it. That's a sad old man butt right there. Woo! That's probably the saddest butt in all of the Black series. Stop looking at Harrison Ford's butt, Mike. Anyways, it's good. It's good. It's a good figure. This was a worthy update. The original one is gonna go back in my he's gonna go back in the box, and I don't know what I'll do with it, but I'll do something with it. Sometimes I keep them. I've been kind of customizing my figures a little bit now. Yeah, it looks pretty good. I like it. Okay. Not customizing, but like I'll take the jacket off and I'll put it on someone else. That kind of customizing, basically. Anyways, so let's pop this over here, and let's get to the one with the biggest changes, and that is Princess Leia as Bose, however you want to say it. That's how I say it too. I know a lot of people can get uppity about how you pronounce character names, but first of all, in A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back, they've pronounced Han as both Han and Han. Leia was pronounced as both Leia and Leia. I don't think people should take too much stock into how things are pronounced in Star Wars, especially when the name has literally never been uttered on screen no one's ever said the word out loud in a canon production of anything. So I don't know, get over it. So let's get her out of here. This was a figure, of all the figures I've shown off, this figure was probably the rarest one for a lot of people. Not only did it come out in 2014, a little bit newer than the Chewbacca. The Chewbacca was the first wave. I believe she was the last figure, and part of the last wave of figures in the blue line. So the whole blue line was in between the Chewbacca and Leia, if you will. But I personally never once saw her in stores. Not even once. The only reason I have her is because I ordered the case, whatever case she was part of, from I believe Entertainment Earth at the time. But like a lot of those in Phase 2, never saw them in store. If I didn't buy them online, like Cody, all the Clone Troopers, Boss. If I weren't an active collector ordering them online, I definitely would not have them in my collection. And I'm an avid collector. I've been collecting these actively, not avid. I'm an active collector. Anyways, it's the same thing, I guess. So differences. The biggest difference for me. She's a little loose, but also her ankle, like her legs they're positioned too far back, so she wants to lean back. Anyways, shorter. She is shorter, and that's a big deal because this Leia was too tall, by far, way too tall. Leia's a short person. Just to kind of give, I didn't grab another Leia, but just to kind of give you an idea of her next to like Han Solo. Like not quite as tall as Han, but that's more like it. Leia was very short. or Carrie Fisher, I should say, was very short. So, but they fixed the height. Now they didn't fix like the arm length or anything. So now her arms are a little long. They kind of come down to her knees, which if you don't notice it, or if you have them like bent, it's not noticeable. But if you have them straight, like that's pretty noticeable. Let's just to kind of show you what that looks like. So it looks like what they did was they shaved off part of the upper thigh here to kind of just shorten the legs, and everything above the waist is the same. But I like this. I feel like this is definitely, although the arms are a little long, and I wish they would have. Now I just see gigantic arms, honestly. Like this looks fine. This looks fine. This looks fine. These look like the arms from a larger figure, and that kind of bugs me. I wish they would have molded new arms, but beggars can't be choosers, I guess. So some other differences. This material on the back feels a lot different than this material. This feels more of like a, I don't know, kind of not plasticky, maybe plasticky, but this feels more like a cloth, like an actual like cotton cloth, whereas this feels a little different. And I think this is better. Like I think it'll hold the shape a little bit better, but also maybe it's not as heavy. I think this, no, maybe it's hard to say, but this does tend to fray. And I think that actually looks a little bit more realistic when it's like this. Whereas this looks a lot more, I don't know, like perfect. So the material back there is different. But the other biggest difference here, let's get that in here. We have the face. It's the same face. It's not a new face, but and actually the head looks smaller. The head, I don't know if it's just the paint or anything, but the head definitely looks smaller to me. Does it look smaller to you? Let me try to focus. There we go. Whatever. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's not. Maybe it looks the exact same size. Maybe it's just the paint and the rest of the body. But like, look at the difference in these legs. The head's lined up. That's the difference in height. Anyways, so yeah, the face looks a lot better. It's got that digital face printing. And I will say, up until digital face printing, I think this Leia's head was the best, especially in terms of Return of the Jedi, because Return of the Jedi, Carrie Fisher looked way different in the face compared to Empire Strikes Back or A New Hope, and that is because of the cocaine use. So, there's that. I'm not judging. It is what it is. So let's take a look here and see what else she comes with. So first we have this little container on the back. I don't know how it's supposed to go. That's how let me get back here. That's how I put it on the original. Let's take a look. Is there a difference in the container? The colors are a little different. There we go. The colors are a little different, but other than that, like the color on the paint is different. So let's go ahead and pop that on there. A little breathing tank thing. She has her thermal detonator. Of course, now that I've switched the cameras, it no longer wants to autofocus, so whatever, it's fine. The thermal detonator's got some paint on it, a little silver around the middle, and there's a hole, and it can just attach to the belt like that. I've never had a problem with it popping off. I know it just did 5 seconds ago, but I don't really play with this. It sits on my display next to Jabba the Hutt, but I've never had a problem with losing it, despite how small it is. And despite this new paint job, I do like to I prefer it with the Bausch. helmet on. I do love that helmet a lot. So what I'm gonna do, we're gonna put that in her hand, and we're gonna put it like that. I don't super love there we go. I don't super love that the this thing does not, it's too small to really fit in the hand, and that's always been kind of an issue. Like, it doesn't super matter because you can just pop it on the ground and it props itself up by virtue of being on the ground, I guess. But it's never been great. I guess what I could do is keep both these on my shelf, have her be more of like just the bounty hunter, that, because that's the thing is she basically stole the clothes. I don't know if she killed the bounty hunter or they just knocked him out and stole his clothes or what. It's been a while. I don't think it was in Shadows of the Empire, but anyways, the story is that she stole the clothes from a well-known bounty hunter and infiltrated Jabba the Hutt's palace dressed as that bounty hunter. And so I guess now on my shelf, if I wanted to, that could be that bounty hunter, and then I could have this be Leia and take like the helmet off and whatnot. So that's what I could do there. Let's put her here. I think for a lot of people, the Leia is the one to get, because by far it was the hardest one to get. It's got a lot of dust up there because it's such an old figure now. The Han, if you like The Force Awakens or you want a sequel, Old Man Han, easily worth picking up. Absolutely worth picking up. The Chewie, Chewie came out, there hasn't been a good Chewie in a while. And a lot of people will ask me like, hey, what's a good Chewie to get? And my answer right now is either this one or the Empire Strikes Back one. And that's kind of up to you on which one you like the look of better. But I think between the two, I like the Empire Strikes Back one a little bit better. But this one's, it's good. It's good. So yeah, that's all I've got. Thanks so much for watching. I like the archive. I know a lot of people will complain that it's just reuse and, Hasbro's cash grab, whatever. But I mean, you can look at it that way if you want to, but I think it's just a really pessimistic way to look at it. This is great for two reasons. There are people like me who love the new digital face printing and want the digital face printing representing their shelves and are unsatisfied now. I wasn't at the time because there wasn't anything better, but now that there's digital face printing, it's kind of like when, George Lucas releases the special editions of movies. Like, there are things I do love about the special editions, updated effects and things like that. But there's also things I liked better in the original. So it's kind of, here or there. But for the people that weren't around or weren't there for the first time, this is perfect for people like that. If you miss Tarkin, if you miss this Han, if you just don't have a good Chewbacca for your collection, if you want Leia as Bausch, this is great for that. And if it's not great for you, if you already have these, if they don't interest you, just think of the money that you're saving and put that money towards something in the future that you do want. And that's what's important. It's just that outlook. Like, you can be pessimistic if you want, but it's just not fun to go through life seeing everything as worst case scenario. Just I don't know, be happier, I guess. There's no reason to just be pessimistic. No one's forcing you to buy this stuff. Anyways, that's it. Thanks so much for getting here. Let me know down the downstairs area. Did you buy any of these? Did you buy any of the previous one? I didn't get any of the previous one. I already had the Dengar. I already have the Emperor Palpatine. I already have that C-3PO. And I definitely already have the Skiff Guard Lando. And if I didn't, that's coming out in the 40th anniversary again, which is really weird, but fine. That one is weird. That one's really weird. Anyways, let me know if you grabbed any of these, what your thoughts on them. Thank you so much for watching. I'd love to thank these people here for supporting me on Patreon at a Black Series level or higher. It means a lot to me that these people support the channel monetarily. It does help me out with costs and things like that, because YouTube ain't free. Well, I mean, I guess it is free, but there's other costs to go along with it. Anyways, and that's really it. That's all I've got. Thanks for watching. Thanks for getting this far, and I'll see you later. Bye.